welcome back to the WHL show. This week I am joined by Tanner Walker. Our co-host Adrien is not available this week, so it is only Tanner this week, which will be great. We'll have a fantastic time. We are streaming live on Area 51 Sports Network or on YouTube at the WHL show, wherever you guys are tuning in. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And if you're listening to this on Spotify after we have uploaded it, shout out to you guys for listening on Spotify. This week we have a bunch of, we're just going to be going over the same type of stuff where we're talking about players of the week and month and recaps and points and standings, all that, just to give everybody a nice recap over the past week of WHL Western Hockey League news and stats, as well as we had a lot of teddy bear tosses the last week. So we'll briefly touch on those and who scored the goals for each team. And that'll round us out. We have a really great guest from the Spokane Chiefs this week, Cameron Parr, who was excellent. And so stay tuned for that. We will bring him on after we chat a little bit about points and league leaders and standings and all that. So if you are a big fan of Spokane Chiefs, make sure you stick around to watch his interview. I'm still congested now, but I was even more congested when I talked to him. So apologies in advance of how stuffy I sound. I kind of just live congested. That's how I am. It's not the most fun, but here we are. We're going to launch into it with players of the month and of the week. We have players of the month since we just finished up November. These were announced last Tuesday, which is the day after we streamed this show, so we didn't have this information on Monday last week. So we're getting this to you a little bit late, but it is a-okay because we didn't have the info when we did it. So Exactly. Yippee. So we'll start with player of the month. Our player of the month is Kelowna Rockets forward Andrew Crystal. He has 13 goals. Oops. Oh my gosh. I'm on the right one, right? Yeah. He has 13 goals, including his first hat trick of the season, 18 assists, with a total of 31 points and a +16 rating through 12 games. He led all skaters in goals and plus minus while finishing second in the league in assists. I'm muting my phone. Sorry for the notification. He also had 9 multi-point games throughout November, including 4 games where he notched 4 or more points. Very high scoring. I love that. He kicked off the month with a goal and 3 assists for 4 points at a very tight 6-5 loss against the Spokane Chiefs. That was on November 5th, the beginning of the month. His first 5-point goal, 5-point game, came in a 1-goal, 4-assist against in an 8-3 win over the Vancouver Giants. And then he is also a alternate captain for the Rockets, and he finished off November with a hat trick and 2 assists and a 9-1 game demolition of the Regina Pats. That is crazy. He currently is on a really long. He has the longest active point streak in the league right now with 40 points in 15 games. Oh my God, dating back to October 19th. So that's just crazy. Oh my goodness. The multi-point, they just add up really fast, and it's wild. It's wild. So he rejoined the Rockets on October 11th after an extended look. He was with Washington's training camp. He has exploded for 18 goals and 29 assists for 47 points and a +27 rating through 18 games, and currently leads the league with a 2.61 games. Oh my gosh. I can read 2.61 points per game average. And he sits second in points, third in assists, and third in plus minus. And we will go more into detail over those standings later on in the episode. But that is where we're standing now. Tan, if you want to go ahead and talk about our rookie of the month.
Yeah, the rookie of the month is Gavin Garland from the Tri-City Americans. He's 18 at the moment, so very rookie, and has led all first-year players with 7 goals and 8 assists, totaling 15 points and a +12 rating through 12 games. I feel like I hear his name just 24/7, so I mean, good for him.
Good for him.
He was also named WHL Rookie of the Week for the second time this season at the beginning of November after putting up 5 points in 3 games. in November, he's had 5 multi-point games and was only held off the score sheet 2 times in that span of time.
Dang.
Total of 14 goals and 15 assists for, yeah, 29 points. Yeah, hey, and a plus 19 rating in his first 24 WHL games. He's tied to lead the team goals and is second in points while leading all WHL rookies in both categories. And I think he just got the teddy bear goal, unless I'm entirely wrong.
I think you're right. That's what we wrote down, so I hope we're right. Yeah, oh my gosh. I love it when rookies lead the team. Or like that's so like you get kind of a snapshot over who's gonna be leading the who's gonna be a solid player in both the league and the team going forward, which is just great. Our goalie of the month is Saskatoon Blades goalie Evan Gardner. He was named goalie of the month for November. He had a 7.300 record with a 2.64 goals against average and a .912 save percentage. He is helped lead the Blades to first place in the Eastern Conference and held that spot. He has allowed 2 goals or less in 5 of 10 games, highlighted by a 33 save effort and a 2-1 win over the Tri-City Americans on November 16th. He also earned first star by turning aside 30 of 31 shots against the Lethbridge Hurricanes in a 4-1 victory that was on November 29th. He currently has, overall, an impressive 13.510 record in his sophomore season in the WHL. His .916 save percentage leads all qualified WHL goaltenders, while his 2.55 goals against average ranks second. So he's doing really well, and is part of the reason why Saskatoon is up so high right now. Obviously, they as a team and as a whole are doing really well, but there are some credits that absolutely need to go to him for how far they've held that ranking. And if you want to chat a little bit about we're going into players of the week now. We just talked about our players and goalies of the month. Now we're going to go to our players of the week. So weekly stats. Tan, if you want to talk about our player of the week.
Alrighty, the player of the week is Tyson Jugnoth. I hope I'm not butchering that.
Right.
Of the Winterhawks. He led all WHL skaters with 7 assists and a +3 rating in the 2 games he played this week. And he made a historic thing with 6 assists on December 7th in their 7-2 win over the Vancouver Giants. He's the first Portland defenseman to tally 6 assists in 1 game and the second WHL defenseman to accomplish this since the 1996-97 season. And the last person who did that was Denton Matejchuk, and that was in 2022. So that's kind of also 6 assists in a game is crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You said Denton Matejchuk and my brain was still in Portland Winterhawks, and I was like, that's not right. But now I have caught up. Our rookie of the week is Medicine Hat Tigers forward Liam Ruck, who has been named Rookie of the Week for last week. He led all rookies with 3 goals and 1 assist for 4 points and a +5 rating in 3 games last week. He has 8 goals and 5 assists for 13 points, including 1 game winner, and a +7 rating through 23 games this season. He is tied for 5th in goals among all first-year WHL players, so against all the baby rookies. He had his first multi-point game on December 4th last week. He set 2 goals in the come-from-behind win against Swift Current. His efforts helped lead the Tigers back from being down 3-0 in the second period, and his second multi-point game came only a few days later. He put up a goal and assist in their game against Edmonton Oil Kings on December 8th, which was actually yesterday. And then, Tan, if you want to close us out with our Everett, with our goalie of the week, kind of give a little spoiler there.
Spoiler.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Go ahead and take it away with goalie of the week.
Okay. The goalie of the week was the rookie goaltender, Raiden Legal of the Everett Silvertips. He earned his first WHL shutout and went 2-0 in every other category on the week with .50 goals against average and a near perfect .981 save percentage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he made his first home start on December 6th against the Rockets. He made 24 saves, and 11 of those were in the first period and threw 3 penalty kills.
Amazing.
He was named the first star of that night, and they won 4-1. And he got his first shutout just yesterday against Wenatchee on their teddy bear toss night of all nights.
That is so sad. I mean, great for him. Good for him. I just find it like it's so sad whenever a team gets shut out on their teddy bear toss. That's the worst. Oh my
And it looks
gosh.
like
Sorry,
it was
Wenatchee.
29 saves, and they won 3-0 in the end. And so they're have been leading the league, and it makes sense with all the.
Oh my
they're just
gosh.
such a good team. It's crazy, and also
That's so funny. I like. Sorry, go ahead.
He's undefeated in the 4 games he's played with 1.00 goals against and a .962 save percentage, and he signed with the Tips on November 20th. So he's just starting out.
Just starting out, and he is. Oh my gosh, the 1.00 goals against and a .962. Just signing, not even a little over 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 3 weeks. That's crazy. I think he's making a name for himself already, and I think he's absolutely like he needs to keep riding this high. That's insane. Oh my gosh. I heard it. I heard a lot of his name towards the end of this week, especially as he was named goalie of the week. But I didn't actually like take a second to look at his numbers before this. So like, holy moly,
it's ridiculous. I was like writing it down when I was doing my research. It's like that's good for him.
Good for him. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go into standings now. Tan, I'm still gonna have you in the hot seat here with our standings for the East Conference, and then I'll take over on the West. So if you want to give us a for who's leading there.
So I mean, in the top 3 in the East has not changed a whole lot since last week, other than the the numbers and the points.
Yeah.
So holding first place, despite having a pretty tough week, is Saskatoon. They have 38 points, and their record has gone from whatever was last week to 17-6, 2-2 after losing in a shootout on December 4th against Red Deer, and then in overtime on the 7th against Calgary. But they still have a 5-point lead on the conference. So, I mean, we'll take what we can.
Yeah, for real.
And second is Med Hat with 33 points, and their record is 16-13, 1-0, and also kind of a tough week. It's not been a happy week for the top 3, apparently.
Yeah.
On the 4th, they won actually 4-3 versus Swift. And then the 6th and the 7th were both losses. The first one to Lethbridge, which was 3-4. And a little tougher on the 7th, which was Edmonton, and they lost 7-4. And Swift is in 3rd place with their 23 points and the record of 16-11, 0-1. And their week started with a 4-3 loss to Medicine Hat on the 4th. And then they won 3-2 versus Moose Jaw on the 6th and shut out Red Deer yesterday. So good week for them.
Yeah. I like not related to WHL really, but one of the things that because like I just started playing goalie like a month ago now. It's been I don't know how long it's been. I've played in 7 games. And my I'm still like getting scored on a lot because I just started. But it's like last night I lost 6-3, which was very sad because it was our playoff game, and it was like we are out now. Sorry guys, my bad. But the relating this to the WHL is that it is motivating, even though like the skill levels are completely different. It is motivating to see that like there was Medicine Hat, who is second in the East Conference right now, they had a 7-4 loss. My 6-3 loss isn't. I mean, it's bad, but it's like if goalie's that good, with teams who are a lot better than like the skill level that we're playing with, is like if they're having scores like that, it's okay that I am too.
Well, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Ooh, man, the mental part of the game is hard. Like it's fun and
I could not do it. I could not be a
hard.
goalie. You're so
Oh my
strong.
gosh. Thanks. That's a lot. Oh my gosh. All right. So for our Western Conference standings, our first place is of course the Everett Silvertips. They have 51 points in the league so far, leading the league. It's crazy. All of our first place. Sorry, all of our top 3 teams in the Western Conference had really good weeks, with each of their last 2 games being wins. I like how you read out all of the games that they had last week. I just did the last 2, didn't even think about
Hey.
putting, all of the games. But for the last 2 games that Everett had, they had a 3-0 win. We mentioned that shutout that Legal had versus Wenatchee on December 8th yesterday. And then they had a 4-1 win versus the Seattle Thunderbirds on December 7th, which is actually my mom's birthday. Happy late birthday to mom. Hi, mom, if you're watching this. And then our second place is the Prince George Cougars. While we had the Eastern Conference had like little to no change except for points, the Western Conference did have some changes here.
Dang.
It's the same thing where the Prince George Cougars are in second, even though they have fewer points than the third place team. And again, it's because they're leading the the BC division in points, and so they are naturally put in second place overall. So, or at least in the Western. So, and our second place are the Prince George Cougars. Last week it was the Victoria Royals. Prince George Cougars have 35 points. They had a 6-3 win versus the Kamloops Blazers on December 7th, and then a 4-2 win versus the Regina Pats on December 6th. Third place, last week it was the Tri-City Americans. The Americans have bumped down to fourth place, and the Spokane Chiefs have now taken over for third place. They have 42 points, which is a lot more than 35. So points-wise, they are leading, but in standings-wise, they're in third. Their last 2 games, they saw a 3-1 win versus the Seattle Thunderbirds on December 8th, and then a 3-2 win versus the Wenatchee Wild on December 7th. And then today is the 9th, so those are super recent.
The jump from second place to, even like I guess third place, but the jump from even 42 to 51 for Everett is crazy.
It's crazy. Oh my gosh! And then like you guys, like the Saskatoon has 38, and then 51, and compared to the 38.
Yeah.
So there is the speculation though, because like people have been saying, Everett has a trend of leading the league and then having first round exits. And I wonder if they'll prove us wrong this year, or not us. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this. Just proving people wrong, or proving their history wrong. Because they're really, really good, and so there's the difference between a regular season team and a playoff team, and I'm really excited to see how they transition into the postseason. Obviously, that's a ways away. It's only December right now. It's only the beginning of December, but that is something to pay attention to and to think about. Is that the one? Was it 2 years ago when they finished first in the Western Conference, and then they were like, I think it was the Giants that like the 8th place team like upset them. I don't remember if it was a sweep or not. I don't remember if it was that dramatic, but it might have been. And if it wasn't, I know that it was definitely an upset in terms of like they did not advance. So I'm really excited to see, how that goes this season. Because right now they're definitely on trend to keep that first place in, lockdown. So we'll see, especially as we get closer to both the trade deadline, which is coming up here in January, and then also just the postseason in general, which will be in a few months, closer to March or April. March and April. Yeah, that's exciting. Tan, if you wanna go into our stats leaders for points, goals, and assists, and then I'll cover our goalies.
It's been actually kind of exciting. I think in every category there's somebody new, so
sick.
A little bit of changes around here. But for points, I don't know if it's shocking at this point, but Gavin McKenna is in first place still. I think this is his, maybe it's his second. I mean, it's his second for sure week in first place, because last week he was, I think it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he was in first 3 weeks ago at least, so it's at least his third.
At least
3 weeks ago. Since we started tracking the points 3 weeks ago, he's stayed in first.
And he is holding that first place strong. Last week we had him at 55. Now he's at 60. So I don't know if he's at any pace to slow down anymore. Second place is unchanged, is Andrew Crystal, who last week had 47 points, and now he's got that up to 51. And in third place, who's new to the top three this week, he's been close and in ties, but he's holding third officially now with 47 points. So that's the top three there.
Berkeley, and the goal. Berkeley Catton. We're just like, hey. Yeah, third place had this. Next.
Yeah. Hey, he needs no introduction, I guess.
For real. Give him his credit.
For goals, we have Shea Van Olm, and he's bumped up from third place last week, where he had 21 points, and now he's got 26.
Amazing.
And second is Cameron Schmidt, who's bumped down a spot, and he went from 23 points to having 24 now. And Tyler McKenzie has made his way up to the top three, and he's got 23 points. That's a little bit of a closer race than the points for right now. And in first place for assists is Gavin McKenna again, who's also still holding that first place pretty tightly. He's gone up from 37 to 41 assists.
Goodness.
And Berkeley Catton, again, has bumped up. He was third last week. Now he's second, and his 29 points has gone up to 33. And then, oh my God, what is his last name? Clark Caswell?
Oh my gosh. I would have told you it was Clayton, but now I'm second guessing myself. Hold on.
The one time I decide, hey, I'm going to write only their last names.
Yeah, I was like, why did you do this? Hold on, I could just look it up on the WHL site. See, guys, we are so prepared. Oh my gosh! Wait. Okay. Talk to us about his points while I find his first name.
He is new to the top three this week also, and he's got 30 points. So it's good. It's good to see things. I thought it was. I was second guessing myself.
I don't know where does Clayton come from. What is in my brain? Is that a hockey player somewhere? No, it's not. It's a doctor in Virginia. I don't know. Who am I thinking of? Anyway, I don't know where Clayton came from. Sorry, Clark. Your name is Clark. Shout out to Clark.
Shout out. Yeah, it's fun that they're kind of switching up a little more. I mean, it is also fun when they stay unchanged just to see how much, but it also is nice to see other names up there and be able to shout out a couple more players.
Mm-hmm. We have, for our goalies, our goals against average, Jesse Sanch, who was last week, he was in first with a 2.15, still holds that 2.15 goals against average and is still in first. Our second with goals against average is going to be, oh my gosh, my thing just glitched out. Hold on, sorry. There we go. Sorry, yes, it is Ethan Eskett of the Brandon Wayne Kings. He has a 2.65 goals against average. He is new to the top three standings this week, so great for him. Evan Gardner, who of the Saskatoon Blades, who was in second last week, is now in third. Last week he had a 2.55 goals against average, and this week he has a 2.66. Our save percentage, same with Jesse Sanch of the Everett Silvertips. He was in third last week, but he has jumped up to first with a 0.915. Last week he had a 0.915. This week he has a 0.915. Evan Gardner, last week he was in second and is still in second. Last week he had a 0.916. This week it has gone down to a 0.913. And then Carson Bjarnason of the Brandon Wheat Kings is in third, and he is new to the top three this week. He had a .913, just as Gardner did, so technically tied for second, but it listed as third for save percentage. And then for our wins, Dawson Cowan of the Spokane Chiefs leads the league with 16. Last week he was third with 13, but he's in first now. Mateka of the Tri-City Americans has 14. He was last week. He was in first. This week he's in second. And then Ravensbergen of the Prince George Cougars, I want to say, unless he got traded, and I just missed that. Oh my gosh, where's he at?
No, I think you're good.
I think I'm good. Yeah, he's with the Cougars. I was like, there's been so many trades, I'm losing track. Ravensbergen, who is new to the top three this week, has he's also tied for second technically with 14 wins. Yay! Going into news and stuff, we finally found a place for Corbin Bond after how long it was, like a week or two of the Jackson Vaughn got traded, and then we were just like, where's Corbin going? No idea. But he got traded to, where the heck did he go? He got traded in a trade with Prince George Cougars, which is there was a lot of speculation of where he was going to go, and the Cougars was not a team that I expected. But best of luck to him, I guess.
Eastern team, truthfully. I was really gunning for him to the Blades, but hey.
That would have been cool. I mean, at least he'll be in the same conference as his brother. I know he's like really far from him, just because not only is Prince George like way up there, but it's like, BC team versus US. However, they are still in the same division, which is cool. I still find it interesting that they didn't end up on the same team. I thought that like their whole thing was that they would be paired together. But also I think it's good, that like they're fighting their own, it's good to be on their own. It's good to make a name for themselves individually. I think that's a good thing, and not, I just wish the best for both of them.
I'm definitely excited for whenever the next time that Prince George and Everett plays, because going from having never been on separate teams straight into playing against each other could be
oh my gosh, yeah,
lots of fun to watch. Just with how they both play hockey, it might be
legit. Okay, go ahead and talk about our next little thing on the list there, while I am going to figure out when the next Prince George and Everett game is, because you have my interest peaked now. I need to know.
So last week we talked about the WHL players going onto Team Canada, and now we've got a little bit of a list of WHLers going to European teams. So it's good to give those a little shout out too. We've got David Lewandowski from the Blades. He got picked for Germany. Of course, this list will not work, but for Sweden, Axel Hertig from Calgary. He's got picked for Team Sweden, and there's two players for Switzerland. There's Ewan Hue, I think it's Hue, if I'm being specific, from the Pats, has been picked, and I'm not shocked. He's played I feel like most of the big international junior he usually gets picked for. So that, and Leo Braillard from the Lethbridge Hurricanes is also picked for the Swiss team. So not a gigantic list like it seems to be for Team Canada or even the US team, but it is fun for the imports to also.
Do we have any players any WHL players to the US team? I don't think we did. I know that there was alumni, but I don't think that there's at least maybe there hasn't even been alumni. I don't know. I've always seen that a lot more WHL and CHL players will go to Team Canada, obviously because there's a lot more Canadian players, Canadian Hockey League. I don't really see a lot of US.
I guess you don't really see a lot of US players in general. I mean, as many as you'd expect compared to other leagues like the NHL.
There was, oh my gosh, who was I looking at? I was looking at somebody on a roster somewhere who was from Texas, and I was like, wow, and the dub from Texas. I'm from Texas. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, I don't remember who it was. I don't even remember what team it was.
I think looking at Mateo Michaels is from Texas, I think. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But It's always fun to see when a guy's from the States because it's usually Canada.
Yeah. And if they're from the States, it's probably like, Minnesota or like one of the northern states.
Mm-hmm.
And then also going back to the Prince George and Everett thing, the next game that they play is going to be on January 18th, and it'll be a home game for Everett. So we'll see Corbin visiting his brother on the 18th, January 18th.
Oh, I'm just actually getting noticed that Blake Fiddler from the Oil Kings is going to the U.S. World Juniors team. Shout out. I honestly forgot that he's from the States. Like, I knew he was going, but I'm like, oh, he's going to Canada. Okay.
Sick. All right, perfect. And then we got our Four Nations face-off. Let me see if I can pull this up here so I can get this information to you guys. So we have 9 WHL alumni representing Canada at the Four Nations face-off. This is another one of those things where we have Team Canada, but we don't have the other ones.
Yeah.
Or at least we don't have representation of the other ones. I don't know if they're even out. However, we do have the Canada information, so that's what we're going to give to you. So for Team Canada, we have Brandon Hagel, who played for the Red Deer Rebels. We have Aiden Hill, who was a goalie for the Portland Winterhawks, and we also have Seth Jarvis, who I adore, from the Portland Winterhawks. I wish that I was a Winterhawks fan when he was on the Winterhawks. I wish that I got to see him play like when he was here. Gosh, dang it! Cursing my 16-year-old self for not living in Portland at that time. Josh Morrissey, who played for the Kelowna Rockets. Brandon, I can read. Braden Point, who played for the Moose Jaw Warriors. Sam Reinhart, who played for the Winnipeg Ice, who no longer exists. And then Travis Sanheim, who played for the Vancouver Giants. And I'm going to be super honest, I'm a Flyers fan, and I had no idea that Sandy played at the WHL, so that's really cool. That's dope. So he played for the Giants. Mark Stone, who played for the Brandon Wheat Kings, and Shea Theodore, who played for the Seattle Thunderbirds. I did know that one. I just didn't know Sanheim. But they are.
That's interesting.
That's crazy. But yeah, so those are some really cool players who are getting recognized there at the Four Nations face-off. Some cool alumni. And then we also have we had a lot of teddy bear tosses last week. We did our best to compile this info. I think it's accurate. We have for the Everett Silvertips, it was Jesse Heslop, scored the teddy bear toss goal for Portland last night. It was Diego Bonazzoni. And I'm only a little bitter because I went to the first period of that game before having to leave for my own game that I had to play. And I was really hoping that they would score in the first period, but unfortunately the Giants scored, but Portland did not. And they scored as I was on my way to my game. So shout out to Portland for scoring while I was not there. But I did bring teddy bears, and my friend tossed them over. Shout out to Regan for doing that to me, for doing that for me. And yeah. And then for Tri-City, it was Gavin Garland. Medicine Hat, it was Liam Ruck. And then Moose Jaw, it was Riley Thorpe. It was actually his first WHL goal, and that was a teddy bear toss goal, which I think is just such a good memory to have. Imagine your first goal.
Just a really nice goal. Like I was watching the like highlight or like replay, and it was such a nice goal. I mean, that's like 2 for 2 on memorable.
Yeah.
First WHL goals.
That's incredible. And then Carson Wetch of the Calgary Hitmen. And now, so those were all our fun teddy bear tosses. And now, as I am looking up, hold on one second, sorry. We are going to be bringing on our super great guest of the Spokane Chiefs. He plays for the Spokane Chiefs, 18-year-old Cameron Parr. If my thing loads, I had his stats written down, and I was going to give you a recap, but my document is not loading. Sorry, one second. Oh my gosh. Awkward moment. But he plays for the Spokane Chiefs. He is, there we go. Holy cow. I was like, I'm just going to sit here and just babble. Assuming that, holy cow. Sorry, guys. Holy shoot. Holy moly. Nothing is going in my favor right now, but I think it's fine. Okay, sorry. So right now, for the Spokane Chiefs, he has 28 games played with one total of 4 points, 1 goal, and 3 assists. And then is projected, Elite Prospects projects him to finish the season with 66 games played, 9 points, and 2 goals and 7 assists. He is a forward. He plays left wing and is from Manitoba. He shoots left. All that fun stuff. All those fun little stats. So I'm going to go ahead and play Cam's interview. He was great. Thank you again to Cameron and to the Spokane Chiefs for collaborating with me and with us for this episode. Really appreciate you guys and everybody with the Chiefs. And then after his interview, we'll do a quick little outro, and then we'll be wrapping it up for the end of today's episthat So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on again. I'm more congested in this than I am now. So apologies for that. I was going through it, but here we go. Thank you again to Cam, and without further ado, for Eastern Conference fans out there who maybe don't pay that much attention to the Chiefs as they do their teams on the East, give them a quick snapshot of the Chiefs this year. Who are some star players, leaders on and off the ice, the general vibe of the team, things like that.
Yeah, I think we're just a super close team, and we all obviously have some star power up front with Berkeley and Shea and them. But we have we play deep. We play all 4 lines. We play hard. Our defense super sturdy too, with Sage and Will and Maze back there. So we have a pretty solid team.
And for you yourself as a player, describe your game. How do you look on the ice?
I just try to play simple, get pucks in, go forecheck, be hard, finish hits. I can make plays, but I try to kind of play as hard as I can and wear them down a little bit. What are some specific goals that the Chiefs are focusing on this year as a team? We just really try to play the right way. If we do that, we know we can beat any team in this league. So probably just playing the right way and playing simple. Good mindset. You described your game as a player, but and some of that could answer this next question, but what are some of your own specific goals as for yourself on the ice or maybe off the ice as well? There's always things you can get better at, but I'd say I kind of want to get faster and kind of handle the puck a little bit better. So that's stuff that I work on personally. How old were you when you started playing hockey? Put my first pair of skates on, I was probably 2 or 3. Yeah. Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it just hockey? I did baseball for a long time. I did competitive water skiing for a while. Dang. Okay. Then I obviously still play golf. I did a little basketball in there too. Nice. What was it that made hockey stick? I don't know. It's just I kind of liked it more than all the other ones. I was better at it too. Nice. If you could have your own goal song, what would it be? I'd probably go It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere by Alan Jackson and Jimmy Buffett. Solid. Spotify Rap actually just came out today. I don't know if you are a Spotify user or an Apple Music user, but who is or would be your top 5 or 3, whichever's easier, artists for you this year? For this year, it was Riley Green, Kip Moore, and Jason Aldean. Nice. All right. What would you say would be, I mean, this is similar to like a goal song question, but like what's your song of the year that like is just kind of the one that's been most played maybe? I think it was Mississippi or Me by Riley Green. I know you're from a small town in Manitoba, but and I think Winnipeg is the closest city, but what was your favorite NHL team growing up? Was it Winnipeg or was it another one? No, I was always a Tampa Bay fan. Gotcha. I was like, I didn't know when they were how old you were when Winnipeg came to Winnipeg. I didn't really. Yeah. So you're a Tampa Bay fan. How was that growing up? There was a couple years where it wasn't great, getting swept by Columbus. But there was some times that was tough. Got chirped by the Friends, but last couple of years, obviously, it's been perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I bet. Yeah. I got into hockey very late, I bet, but the first cup win in that like streak was when I got into hockey, so that was fun. How did you become a Tampa Bay fan all the way in Manitoba? I don't know. I've always been a fan of Steven Stamkos. I've always loved him. Watching him on Team Canada growing up. And then one of my buddies actually really liked Tampa, and I was super young, and I kind of looked up to him, and he liked Tampa. So,
Nice.
Or are any of your like family members like are they also Tampa fans, or are they?
My dad's a Boston fan.
Mm.
My mom's Winnipeg, and then my brother's Pittsburgh.
Got you. Just a bunch of rivals there. Love it.
Yeah.
You mentioned Stamkos as one of your a favorite, like a player that you looked up to or that you followed closely. But are there any other NHL idols or maybe some NHLers that you strive to model your game after, things like that?
Yeah, I think like kind of like the Kachuk brothers, how they play kind of hard, but they can also get things done. Kind of look like that, or yeah, kind of like that. But I've always looked up to a bunch of different ones, mostly Canadian guys. But
totally. Do you have any for your typical game day? Do you have any superstitions or rituals that you got to follow each day?
No, it's mostly just kind of take a nap and a shower at the same time.
Nice.
But once I get to the rink, it's just kind of whatever.
When Spokane played Saskatoon, how was it playing Tyler over there?
It was cool. Like we did it last year too.
Yeah, of course.
But our first year, actually, he was hurt, so he didn't play.
Gotcha.
And then last year, he came here, and it was pretty cool playing for the first time. I had some family there.
Yeah.
You're not really thinking about it at the time, but after the game or before the game, like it's kind of cool. And then this year, I was in Saskatoon, so closer to home. So a bunch of our family actually drove out for that one.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's just you're not really thinking about it too much.
Are you? I know that Parzy is a nickname, but are there any other like hockey nicknames or anything? Like anything along those lines? Sorry, I'm stuttering.
No, not really. It's usually just been Parzy.
If you weren't playing hockey, what would you want to do with your life? Any like professions or dream jobs that aren't sports related? Everybody always answers with another athlete, and I'm like, just get not sports related.
That's a good one. I'd probably be. I really want to be an electrician, so that'll probably that.
The next few are related to your team and some of your teammates. So who are you closest to on the team?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm close to all of them. We're a close team.
Yeah.
But I live with Catton, Berkeley, so I'll probably say him.
Nice. Who on the team has the best locker room music?
Other than myself?
Yeah.
Van Ol maybe. Don't want him to hear that, but maybe him.
It's funny. That's so funny. Who would you say has the worst though? Who would you like not trust with the Ox?
Sage Weinstein. It's not even close.
I love that. What does he play?
He kind of plays like that underground rap gangster stuff.
If you were stranded on a deserted island and you had to pick one teammate to help you survive, who would you pick and why?
Let me think here for a sec. I'd probably go. I'd pick Samaremba probably.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. He's just kind of he's older. He seems like an intelligent guy from what I know so far. And we get along pretty well, so I feel like that'd be a good one.
Yeah, key part. Who do you think would get you killed the quickest?
Mathis Preston.
Why is that? Why is he your answer?
I don't know. He's just kind of goofy guy, silly, doesn't take anything other than kind of like games, obviously, super seriously. So probably him.
Who would you want with you on a 2-on-1?
Ooh. Well, at the start of the year, me and Owen Martin had a pretty nice 2-on-1 goal, so I'll go with him.
Perfect. Great choice. If you could swap positions with another teammate for a game, who would it be?
Positions. I'd go Crampton, run the top unit on the power play and play some D for a bit.
Nice. That'd be fun. Last but not least, what's a message you have for Chiefs fans?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a good year. They need to keep bringing it as they have been, being the best fans. And yeah, it's going to be a good year. Going to make a push for the playoffs here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for chatting with me.
You too. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So again, thank you to Cam and the Chiefs for such a great chat. It was awesome. I wanted to go back and say that we missed Seattle's teddy bear toss. It was Braden Coots who scored that goal for them, and that was on November 23rd. So shout out to Seattle. So a couple things just before we go out, or before we end this episode. I've been thinking about opening up questions to the audience and for hosts to answer, so we can chat about different players or trade rumors or stats or literally just like opinions on teams, whatever. So in order to do that, make sure that you guys are following us on Twitter. Everything is on the screen there. Our username is the WHL show, or you can message or tweet any of us individually. That is also fine, but just keep an eye out for those, because we're going to be posting a lot more like, what are your questions for us this week, and making sure that we're going on off of those. And then another thing that we're going to be potentially doing is, last time that I hosted the show was a while ago. I did what was called a quote unquote an intentionally bad presentation on the Portland Winterhawks. So that I just did I did a quick recap over like the team history, how they're doing in standings, their roster, and things like that. And so that's just kind of like a really quick overview for the Winterhawks. And I was thinking we could do that for all the other teams in the league. So again, make sure you're following us on Twitter and both on the WHL show and our individual Twitters, because we're going to be gauging interest on that, seeing if people do want those sort of rundowns and stuff like that. So just keep an eye out on those. And then one thing that I was like, as I was watching watching Cam's interview back, I was like, wow, I need to work on my follow-up questions. Like, competitive water skiing? What do you mean? Or like, he wants to be an electrician? How did that come about? An electrician? What? So I like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of like, oh my gosh, I need to work on my follow-up questions and get some entertainment. Oh my gosh, information there. Yeah, that was crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. Thank you for Tanner for chatting with me this episode, and thank you Cam and the Spokane Chiefs for everything there. Tune in next week. We may have Adrien back, and we may have Tanner back. We're flexible, playing it by ears. So yeah, it's gonna be super fun. We have next week will be same as normal. Stay tuned for our upcoming guests and all that fun stuff. Thank you again for everybody watching, and we are going to say peace out.
Peace.
Farewell. Thank you.